She was a dedicated and dignified negotiator for Waikato-Tainui. She earned the respect of all those who negotiated with her, and throughout, as Mr Horomia said, she was ably assisted by Tuku Morgan, and I acknowledge his great work. My last meeting with Lady Mahuta occurred a few days before her death. She was desperately ill but made every endeavour to get to that meeting. The Prime Minister was also there. She wanted to attend that meeting because she wanted to discuss the time frame for progressing this bill through its final stages because of its importance to her and to her iwi. The river and its catchment play a significant strategic role for New Zealand as a source of energy, the location of a very significant primary industry, and of course recreational activities. There are very important values and relationships between the river and the people and its communities, including public and private interests, and these need to be recognised. It's always been important that the proposed arrangements will be effective in achieving positive outcomes and in meeting the purpose of the deed. For that reason, the incoming government initiated an independent review of the deed of the arrangements in the deed of settlement signed in August 2008, and based on that review, renegotiated certain aspects of the settlement. This led to the signing of a new deed of settlement in December 2009. But in saying that, sir, I too acknowledge the work of the previous administration in negotiating the original deed. I particularly acknowledge the work of my predecessor, Dr Cullen, and also the work of Messrs Horomia and Ruranui. I acknowledge also the willingness of Waikato-Tainui to reopen negotiations. It was a significant step to take in terms of reopening a deed of settlement, but I believe it's resulted in improvements that are going to bring about more streamlined arrangements and better outcomes for everyone. It's appropriate to acknowledge the work of the independent review panel chaired by Mr Evan Williams of Auckland, and the willingness of the iwi along the Waikato River and the Waipa River to support the process. The Waikato Regional Council and other local authorities have made a significant contribution to ensure we can achieve a sound, economically efficient model for the river. In that regard, the support and close interest shown by the Minister for the Environment has been very helpful indeed. This occasion cannot pass without also acknowledging the work of the Crown's Chief Negotiator Brian Roach and his team. Mrs Turia has outlined the features of the new arrangements which have been incorporated in the bill. There are important policy objectives associated with the framework, and I don't need to dwell on them because she's already spoken to those. This bill provides effective legal mechanisms for Waikato-Tainui to participate in the governance of the river, reflecting the significance of the river to Waikato-Tainui. The bill streamlines, improves and coordinates governance and management arrangements for the river to support its strategic importance to New Zealand and also to the restoration and protection of the health and well-being of the river. Importantly, the bill provides clear direction and certainty about co-governance of the river. Cornerstones for the new arrangements are that governance functions relating to the river will now be consolidated in a single entity to be known as the Waikato River Authority, and the vision and strategy is going to be the primary direction-setting document for the river. The Contestable Clean-up Trust is a major investment by the government in a significant environmental initiative. The far-sightedness of Waikato-Tainui in negotiating such a fund that has long-term benefits for the river is to be applauded. Mr Speaker, this bill is going to settle a long-standing treaty grievance and at the same time ensure the ongoing treaty relationship with Waikato-Tainui is based on sound arrangements with real outcomes. The vision of Sir Robert Mahuta, the determination of Lady Mahuta, and the patience and dedication of so many of the people of Waikato-Tainui have borne fruit, and the outcome is one from which the entire community will benefit.
Honourable Nanaia Mahuta.